Alrighty, so all the Leagues Cup game is now in the books for tonight, and technically it shouldn't be because the game between the Galaxy and Club Leon should still be going on right now, but that game is delayed till tomorrow because they had some problem in terms of the Charger playing getting into LA for Club Leon. So as a result, the game is going to be delayed till tomorrow, which is kind of interesting because tomorrow I think we're going to have the most game out of any day in terms of the League Cup group stage action. There's already going to be 6 games tomorrow. Now we're going to have 7 games. That's going to be happening tomorrow with the Leon versus Galaxy game being rescheduled tomorrow. But that being said, I will be reviewing 3 of the 4 games that happened tonight. The only game I'm not going to be reviewing is Mazatlan versus Juarez because, I've said before in this Leagues Cup tournament, I will only review games that involve MLS team. And I also first reviewed the game between Columbus versus St. Louis. I remember that was the game that was delayed very late into the Sunday night. I was thinking about doing just a single review on Monday, but I decided to kind of include it into this review because why not? Why not include it in terms of the other 3 games that involving MLS team in Leeds Cup tournament. But that being said, let us begin with the first one, which is Columbus versus St. Louis. And as I mentioned, this game really was Leeds Cup after dark. I mean, this game didn't kick off until 11:16 p.m. They had almost a 4-hour rain delay, and I gotta give a lot of credit to the fans in the stands because it's not easy. The fact that you would be staying there for about 3.5+ hour and you still be there in the stadium. There was still a good amount of fans. I mean, the crew supporter group section, the North Deckers still look relatively full, and then also around the stadium there was definitely good sizable fans that were still in the stadium. Also saw a lot of pink inside that stadium too. The St. Louis fans also kind of sticked around for this one. But that being said, in the first half, 20 seconds in, Leuven would puts it wide from close range, and that action happened so quickly that Jake Ziven didn't even have a chance to announce the star 11. And I think Apple TV, because they didn't realize the game was supposed to start exactly at 11:16 p.m. They didn't even have a chance to announce, do the usual announcing the star 11. So Jake Ziven was basically announcing it on the fly. By the way, Jake Ziven and Taylor Twellman that announced this game, they look very tired in this one, and I don't blame them because it's one thing to basically commentating a game after a long rain delay, but it's another to do it after 3.5+ hour and you're doing it at 11 o'clock. Like you can clearly see that they were very, very tired. And that again, as much as that's kind of disappointed to see commentators being like that. Remember, they're still human too. They've been through a long day of work too. I mean, it's the equivalent of basically you're working at a job, but something happened at your job and you still have to stay past your shift despite being there for like maybe 10 or 11 an hour. So I can understand why both of the guys were kind of a little bit tired, and they were kind of also creating some Leads Cup after dark kind of material that's not related to the game because as the night gets longer, that things gets a little bit more weirder, especially even with what the commentator was saying in this one. But that being said, in the 10th minute, we saw the first goal of the game. It's Lucas Arian scoring to give Columbus a 1-0 lead. That came off a free kick, and it seems like Reynoso wasn't the only one that night that was trying to one up Messi of being an Argentine to try to score on a free kick. Zarian also did it there, and I know Lucas Zarian plays for the Armenian national team, but let's be honest, he was born in Argentina, so we can safely say that he is still Argentine, even if he plays for the Armenian national team. But that being said, I thought Columbus started to take control of this game and kind of give St. Louis a taste of their own medicine. St. Louis didn't really play their strongest team coming into this one, and I'm guessing it's partially due to injuries that's kind of hampered that team, especially the back line, or the fact that they were basically saving their team in that big game against Club America, which, I mean, it's a risky kind of thing because, now St. Louis really need to beat Club America if they want to move on into the next round of the Leagues Cup tournament. But in the 28th minute, a penalty was given to Columbus after Bartlett handballed that one in the box. Cucho basically steps up to take the penalty, and he slots it home to make it 2-0 in favor of Columbus. It was almost 3-0 if Nagby didn't puts it wide from close range. But yeah, we do head to halftime with Columbus leading 2-0 and really kind of in cruise control in this game. The second half, pretty much almost the same, at least in the beginning. Cucho would puts it over the bar. Ramirez then put the ball into the back of the net, but the flag did not agree with him as it was disallowed because of offside. But there was no doubt Columbus was on the front foot again. They were looking for the third goal, and you could clearly see St. Louis, they didn't want to be there. Like you can see they were clearly at the point where, well, we're just gonna punt this game and look forward to the game against Club America. Lund then denied Ramirez from close range before Ramirez would hit one right to Lund. Then Perez with a rare opportunity for St. Louis, but he hits that one right to Bush. But then in the 84th minute, this is where it kind of got it interesting. As unfortunately Russell Rowe scored an own goal here to give some life for St. Louis, and I mean Rowe leads Cup after dark incoming because yeah I mean so far in this game it's been pretty one-sided, but hey, it's 1 in the morning. There's some weirdness that happened when games are taking place at that time. And in the 86th minute, Giacchini almost equalized for St. Louis, but he puts that one wide, and there was no doubt momentum was with St. Louis. And Columbus, they kind of looked like they were rattled. Like they were maybe a little shocked the fact that they conceded a goal, and all of a sudden they had to kind of wake up themselves and realize that yeah they can't just basically hit the cruise control button and hope to hold on to this lead. Vasilet then hits one right to Bush, and then we had some coming together because again, despite the fact that we are well past 1 a.m. local time in this one, the players still care about this game. I mean, the players clearly won't be happy if there's gonna be something that happened, and yeah, there was I think a foul that started this coming together, and yeah, next thing you know, there was some chirping, and this again just a reminder of how we've seen this happen before in the Leagues Cup tournament, whether it's an MLS team versus Liga MX team or an all MLS matchup like we see this one. Player cares. Like players and coaches really care about this tournament, and you just kind of had a sense that things get even more hotly contested in these games because of how meaningful these games in terms of the group stage. So yeah, not a big surprise seeing the fact that we had some coming together because of maybe someone have chirped each somebody else and said some choice words to the other person, and then next thing you know, you have a coming together even though it's like already past 1 in the morning in this one. But that being said, Columbus does walk out with the win in this one, as the shots in this one, 19 shots with 11 that St. Louis had, 2 shots on goal with the 9 that Columbus had. Both team had 4 shots off target, 6 shots on block with the 5 that St. Louis had, and possession wise, 65% possession compared to 35% possession that St. Louis had. So yeah, Columbus in a very good position now to move on into the next round. And I really think that this was, of course, the game that maybe decided in this group because in this group D, known as the group of death, I thought whoever loses this game, they might be really on the back foot of potentially not moving on, and it seems like that's kind of the case for St. Louis. And again, I get it; they had injuries issue, and maybe Bradley Carnell is focused more on league play with the way how good that they've been playing so far. But yeah, they're definitely going to be on the back foot now with the way that they have to play against Club America, and they have to win that one. If they don't win that one, they're going to be out of this tournament. It will be kind of disappointing for St. Louis too, especially of how promising they have been so far in league play. With that being said, moving on into the next game, and now start talking about the game that happened today in Leagues Cup tournament involving MLS team, is Miami and Atlanta. So obviously, after last game, that Miami had a Hollywood script ending with Messi making his debut, coming off the bench and scoring a walk-off free kick. So let's see how they're gonna do in this game, and let's see how Messi and his company is gonna do. Well, turns out they did not only just fine in this one, but they absolutely blew Atlanta out of the water. I mean, at times this was like men's against boys in terms of how this went between these two southeastern rival. The early on in the second minute, Atlanta actually almost scored the opening goal as Lennon did try to do a little random layout. He was trying to do a little shot cross there, but unfortunately struck the post. That turns out to be the best chance that Atlanta would get throughout the game because this is when Miami started to dominate, and it was no surprise that in the 8th minute that gets the opening goal of this game. And who else but Leo Messi? He scored here to give Miami a 1-0 lead. The post actually denied Messi chance there, but yeah, the post is not going to deny it even deny Messi's chance. He's going to bounce it right back to him there. Almost like the post are basically saying, yeah, yes, the ball hit the post, but I'm just going to bounce kindly back to you so you can score a big moment goal, scoring a goal on his first start, and he did. Yeah, that made it 1-0 in favor of Inter Miami. Abram did look to respond to the header for Atlanta, but he was denied by counter before Martinez just puts it high from close range, and then Messi was looking for a second, but he hits one right to Guzan. It was all Miami up to this point. I mean, the with its lovely midfield feel build up and stuff like that, and just completely tear apart this Atlanta team. Like they look second best everywhere, and especially in this game, it was very odd the fact that I've seen Atlanta decide to kind of back off in this game and maybe sit deep a little bit because yeah, when you do that and when you face against a Miami team and especially a team that has the quality to put the ball over the top like what we see what Busquets has done throughout this game, that was a very questionable tactical decision that Gonzalo Pineda tried to use, and it did not work whatsoever in this one. In fact, in the 23rd minute, Messi would score again. This time he scored from Robert Taylor to make it 2-0 in favor of Miami. Both of those guys would turns out to have monster game in this one for Miami. In the 24th minute, this was a great moment. Great tribute there for Miami fans holding up Ian Frey number there. Obviously, the 24th minute, they're doing it because Ian Fry does wear the number 24. And again, I just wish him a speedy recovery there. Not only the fact that he has the same first name as I do, but also the fact that yeah, that has to be rough for a kid that is only 20 years old, going through his third ACL tear uh situation. I mean that's just brutal. And again, really wish that he has a speed recovery and comes back stronger. But again, great tribute there from the Miami fans. And also, if you already don't love Lionel Messi, you would love him now. The fact that in the last game, the first thing he mentioned wasn't actually talk about his walk off free kick goal and how much it means to him, but he immediately mentioned Ian Fry, and that's a great moment there. And again, just shows you why Messi, you just simply can't hate the goal. Like I mean, he doesn't even need to do that to really make him be so beloved in this fan base and in this league. But that just takes it to a next level. And so it's great to see that he did that. And of course, when they did the team picture, Messi even hold up Ian Fry's jersey to commemorate them. And now, of course, the fans does the same thing. But in the 35th minute, speaking of Messi, he goes for a first half hat trick here, but he hits that one right to Guzan. Amada then puts it wide from close, but this came off a bad turnover from Busquets. And as much as I know Busquets was getting praise throughout this game, I mean, yeah, this was something that probably shouldn't have happened if he turned the ball over. And there were a couple times that he committed some WTF turnover. Like as good as he was creating chances on the other end, he was a liability at the back too, and that's going to be something that he's going to have to clean up because in that last game against Cruz Azul, he did something similar in that game too. With that being said, in the 44th minute, Miami made it 3-0, and Robert Taylor, he does it again. He scored a banger in the last goal. He scored another one in this one as he scored from Kamaski to make it 3-0 in favor of Miami, and that would be the scoreline heading into the halftime. It wouldn't take long for this game to make it 4-0 as Robert Taylor once again gets on the score sheet from Lionel Messi to make it 4-0 in favor of Miami. It came off of a lightning counterattack where the Atlanta midfield and defense was nowhere to be found. I mean, it was just way too easy for Miami and for Messi to go for on the attack. Like as soon as I saw there was like a 2v1 with Messi and Taylor running upfield, I knew that was going to be a goal, and it was not a big surprise that it went in. And yeah, the route was clearly on up to that point. Mascara then hits one right to counter before he puts it wide from long range. Guzan then denied Taylor and himself that was trying to score a hat trick. So now the question is, who's going to score the hat trick first? Is it going to be Taylor or is it going to be Messi? Turns out the answer is none of the above because both of them did get subbed off in this one. But again, despite Miami put their foot off the gas in the second half, they still looked dangerous going for it. Looked like the more likely one to get the fifth goal, though Calendar did deny Barry from close range. And then he denied Amada from close in the 78th minute. And once again, Drake Calendar, he picked up where he left off. He was a wall in this game. He was determined not to be beaten and gets a clean sheet. He then denied Amada from close range in the 78th minute, or actually, I wrote that twice there accidentally. But in the 85th minute, a penalty though was given not to Miami. It was actually to Atlanta United. I wrote the wrong team there, as McVeigh was brought down Etienne Jr. in the box. Now McVeigh actually got a straight red for a denial of goal score opportunity in the box, and I gotta say that was, I mean, I feel like that was harsh. I feel like that didn't look like it was a denial of goal score opportunity happening in the box. There were some Miami defenders in the box. And I know MLS and Leeds Cup has this double jeopardy rule, and I kind of now understand a little bit more about the double jeopardy rule, where as long as you play the ball, then yeah, you're gonna get the benefit of that. But if you don't play the ball and there's no player around you, you're probably gonna get a red card. But in that play, I didn't think that was the case. So yeah, very unlucky there from Chris McVeigh of getting himself sent off, and Miami was down to 10 men, but in the 86th minute from the spot, Drake Counter was not going to be determined to be denied of his clean sheet because of a penalty spot, because he denied Amada from the spot. And this is the problem for Atlanta this season. They have had a lot of issue this season in terms of scoring on penalty. I think they missed probably the most penalty so far this season out of any team. And this all started when, remember how our Rougeau blast that one into the stands on that opening game against the San Jose Earthquakes. That's now continuing. And while Amada has kind of been the penalty kicker, and he has scored a couple of penalty kicks, uh, this one was not a good one whatsoever. But give credit to Drake Counter. Like I said, he was determined not to give up a goal in this one. And again, everything seems like it's going right for Miami in this game. And likewise, everything was going wrong for Atlanta in this one. Robinson then puts it high on the free kick. But yeah, in the end, Miami wins it 4-0 in this one. Shots in this one, 12 shots compared to 10 that Atlanta has. 7 shots on goal compared to 6 that Atlanta has. Both teams had 3 shots off target. 2 shots on block compared to 1 that Atlanta has. And possession-wise, 61% possession compared to 39% possession that Atlanta United has in this game. And with this win, Miami becomes the first team to move on into the knockout stage. They of course will be hosting the winner of, I believe, South 2 in terms of the group. So they will either host Houston, Santos Laguna, or Orlando City in terms of whoever wins the group out of that. And I also look at the bracket, and I gotta say, the path for Inter Miami to go deep into the tournament, it's actually a good one. I mean, and especially with the way how well they've been playing, and Messi has lived up every expectation that they think he was going to be, and maybe even some, because I think not a lot of people would have thought that, with just 90 minutes play in with Inter Miami, he's already got free goals and already got a couple of assists to his name. So yeah, that is something thing that I think for Miami fans, soak it in, because this is going to be something that we're going to see for the rest of the tournament when they're playing. And I wouldn't be surprised that you could even say that they could be one of the favorites now of winning this tournament. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but the way that they've been playing right now, I mean, Tata Martino definitely has got this team playing well, and I think there is no team that want to play Inter Miami right now, especially facing against the GOAT, known as Lionel Messi. But that being said, moving on in the next match, we got Santos versus the Houston Dynamo. So obviously, this was really the first game where we could see potentially the first team get eliminated from this tournament, and that is the case for the Houston Dynamo. But fortunate for them, they stay alive thanks to winning it in the PK shootout. Though, yeah, they kind of let a 2-0 lead slip in this game and almost let this one get away from them. But in the first half, Clark did deny Bernetta from close range, as I thought there was a lot of possession for Houston. Santos were looking to elect to sit back and counter. That didn't quite work out because Houston would get the lead. It's Corey Bear scoring from Carrasquilla to make it 1-0 in favor of the Houston Dynamo. It's not a big surprise that Carrasquilla has been picking up where he left off in the Gold Cup. I mean, he was so influential during his time with Panama in the Gold Cup, and there's a reason why he won the player of the tournament in that one. And yeah, that gave the Dynamo a 1-0 lead. That was also the first shot on goal for the Houston Dynamo too. Bassi then tried to make it 2-0 as he was trying to hit this one off the volley, but unfortunately he whiffed it. And it was a good start for Houston. Like, I thought they'd done a really good job going forward, and you can see that this team was definitely playing with some purpose. Like, they were playing for their lives in this game. They were trying to stay off elimination, and they definitely played like that, with the way that they showed that urgency and really dissecting the Santos defense with ease. And as a result of that, it would be 2-0 in favor of Houston in the 26th minute. as Griffin Dorsey would score from Herrera to make it 2-0 in favor of the Dynamo. Campos did look to try to respond for Santos, but he was denied by Clark. And then Herrera had a chip that was clear off the line, so it could have been 3-0 in favor of the Dynamo just 40 minutes in, and unfortunately for Hector Herrera, that ball was clear of the line. It won't be the last time we've seen him have a chance that was clear off the line in this one. But I also thought that this was a fast-paced game because I thought Santos started to get into this game a little bit, and knowing the fact that the Dynamo also play that fast-paced kind of style at times, so I wasn't surprised the fact that it was kind of fast-paced, and at time this game was end to end. But then in the 45th minute, Santos does get one back. It's Preciado scoring here to give Santos a goal back in this one and give them some life. And I just had a feeling that was not going to be good for the Dynamo because it's been a great first half for you, but you just don't want to concede go right on the stroke of halftime, especially against a Liga MX team like Santos Laguna. But they did. It was 2-1 in this one, and I thought heading into the second half, I don't need to get that third goal. And they tried to do so in the 50th minute when Aliu did puts it high from close range, but then Clark denied Pasiato in the front post. And Santos, I thought they started to have more of the possession. They started to control this game. They were pushing for the equalizer. So that being said, Aliu did had a free header, but somehow that was clear off the line by Torres. I mean, Aliu Ibrahim, he must be absolutely thinking about that one and probably just saying how in the world did that not go in because that was a perfect header there from him there, and somehow it just kind of cleared off the line there. It's just kind of instant from Torres, just in the right place, right time to clear that one off the line. Bossi then puts it high from close range, and again, Houston has woke up in the second half with the inability to get this two-goal lead and get this third goal come back to haunt them because you just had a feeling that yes, they have some good chances, but as long as this is a one-goal game, I don't think it was going to be enough for Houston to win this one, and it turns out it wasn't enough because a penalty was given to Santos Laguna after Mikael brought down Preciado from close range, or not from close range, but in the box. Now, originally they said that there was actually offside before this penalty was awarded, but they did go to VAR to check whether or not indeed it was offside. It was not. I mean, you can clearly see on the replay it was not offside whatsoever. So, yeah, a penalty was given to Santos. Preciado stops up to take the penalty, and he slots it home. And all of a sudden, it's 2-2 in this game. Clark then denied Bernetta from the free kick, and you can see Houston was on the rope. Like you can see that this has kind of gone all wrong for the Dynamo. The momentum was clearly with Santos, and I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually does score this third goal and come from behind in this one. Clark then denied Lopez on the volley. By the way, Steve Clark, a great game in this one. I mean, the two goals that he conceded, there was really nothing he can do there, especially one came from the penalty kick spot, and we know he is one of those keeper that doesn't really do well in terms of penalty kick situation, but at least in terms of making some big save, he definitely made a couple of them. Franco then puts it high from close range in the 80th minute before Bassi would hit a one hopper right to Lahoud. As again, the Dynamo they kind of, I mean, if you're the Dynamo, they kind of had a dilemma to deal with because on one hand, you want to make sure you stay this game tight because you don't want to keep giving Santo Lagunias some more chances that they build this wave after wave of pressure and eventually get that third goal. Then on the other hand, you also want to still go for that third goal too and win this in regulation so that you can be comfortable in terms of hoping that in the game between Santos and Orlando City and hoping that Santos does win so that they of course will be able to move on into the next round, but it wasn't meant to be as we do go to a PK shootout. And I'll tell you, when the PK shootout, it was a clinic in terms of the goal score from the PKs. I mean, 9 straight penalty was converted by both teams, but you just kind of had a sense with the way that there was so many PK that was converted at the same time. One of them eventually is going to miss. I mean, we always seen as we seen teams continue to make PKs, the pressure is going to just mount up higher and higher. And eventually, the pressure got to Lopez because he skied that one all the way to Galveston. And that gives the Dynamo the win. Crucial 2 points for them to stay off elimination in this one as they win 5-4 in the PK shootout. And the shots in this one, 19 shots compared to 12 that the Dynamo had, 6 shots on goal compared to 10 that Santos had, 3 shots that was blocked compared to 5 that Dynamo has. One shot that was blocked with a six that Santos had, and possession wise, 61% possession compared to 39% possession that Santos has in this one. So yeah, it was kind of a game of two halves in this one, with Houston dominating the first half and Santos being the better in the second half. But ultimately, like I said, for the Dynamo, they're still alive right now. They're currently sitting on 3 points, while Orlando, I think they're sitting on two, and Santos with one. And yeah, that should set up a very interesting final day. I believe in terms of that game, if that goes to a PK shootout between Santos and Orlando City, then Houston will be eliminated, because I believe that based on the head-to-head battle, Houston did lose that head-to-head battle to Orlando City. So yeah, or actually no. If that does go to a PK shootout, I think if Orlando does win that PK shootout, Santos would be just sitting on 2 points. So yeah, even if that one goes to a PK shootout, it still could be good for the Houston Dynamo. But either way, I'm pretty sure the Dynamo, they will be well, actually, if they're sitting on 3 points, and Orlando City has two points right now. If Orlando wins, the Houston, of course, move on. But I think if Santos does win in that one, they'll go on 4 points. I think Orlando would be eliminated. But either way, it should be a very. I think that in terms of this game, Houston, they're almost through to the next round. But it just shows you how it's kind of tricky in terms of trying to do the math. And I know throughout this tournament, there's been times where these commentators have tried to do the math of who's going to move on and who's not. I'm not even going to try to do that, because it's just going to be too complicated. With that being said, moving on into the last game between FC Dallas and Necaxa, and I want to thank FC Dallas playing probably the most boring game in this Leeds Cup tournament that didn't end it in a 0-0 draw. I mean, there were some boring games throughout this Leeds Cup tournament, but this is probably one of those one. But I kind of want to thank them, because by the time when Dallas got that 2-0 lead, I basically kind of started to not pay too much attention to the game and started to write the board, because I knew Dallas got this one in the back against Necaxa. So early on, I thought Necaxa was the one that was on the front foot, and it was kind of a flat start for Dallas. They were committing way too many turnover that almost found themselves 1-0 down. Godinho then denied Kumungo from close range, but then in the 11th minute, we had a big early game-changing moment with Montes getting a deny of goal score opportunity, and he had to ball down Kumungo there, because he didn't bring him down. Kumungo was in on goal, and he probably would have scored. So yeah, Nakatsa were down to 10 men, and Dallas took advantage of it 12 minutes later. It's Sebastian Lletget scoring from Kumungo to make it 1-0 in favor of Dallas, and it was almost 2-0 if Gordino didn't rob Ebiaga from point blank range in the back post. I mean, Ebiaga's got to finish that one. That is just one that he's definitely going to be thinking about that later tonight. But I thought it's also been all Dallas ever since the red card happened. Though really not much has happened. Like the game was played at a very slow play pace. It looks like both teams was just kind of going through the motion a bit. Mendes then heads it right to pass in the fourth minute stoppage time, but we do head to halftime with Dallas leading 1-0. Now in the second half, Farfan would put it just wide from close before O'Brien hits one right to Gardino. I thought it was a positive start for Dallas coming out of the half. They were looking to make it 2-0. But then on the other end, Paz, who has been just kind of a spectator in this one, he would rob Colorado from point blank. And no, he's not robbing the Rapids there. There was actually a player from Necaxa that actually goes by the last name Colorado. I think his first name is Andres Colorado. So that's kind of the first time I've actually seen an MLS game, or in this case, a Leeds Cup game, but a game involving an MLS opponent, that there's going to be a player that is literally named after the same last name as a team in MLS. So it kind of gets a little bit confusing. But yeah, he did rob a player named Colorado from Necaxa from point blank range, and that was a big save too, because like I said, Paz up to this point he was a spectator, and Martin Paz is the reason why he's a very underrated goalkeeper in this league. I mean, he that is a huge save for him to make, and it's not easy for a goalkeeper to be pretty much cold throughout the game and have to make a big save to keep this one at 1-0. Mendes then heads it right to pause, and I kind of take back what I said about Necaxa being or Dallas being the more positive side because Necaxa has woke up and Dallas kind of look on the ropes a bit despite being a man up. We've said this before, just because you're a man up doesn't mean it automatically guarantee you the win. I mean, just ask Puebla how that experience went when they went up a man up against Minnesota United. But that being said, in the 62nd minute, Dallas eventually does make it 2-0. It's Eugene Ansa. He scored his first goal for Dallas in this one to make it 2-0. Again, this is where I thought, well, this is over. I mean, I'm pretty sure Necaxa is not going to come back from this. And that pretty much was the answer in the 72nd minute because Jesus Ferreira would score to make it 3-0. It was an absolute gift because it came off of the WTF turnover from Necaxa. And the last player you want to commit a WTF turnover and have a guy that is in on go if you're Necaxa is Jesus Ferreira because he's going to bury that one more times or not. And not surprisingly, he buried it to make it 3-0. Ferreira did look to try to get another one to make it 4-0, but he missed that one wide. And yeah, in the end, for Dallas, a relatively comfortable win. 3-0 was the scoreline. Shots in this one, 10 shots compared to 8 that Necaxa had. Both teams had 3 shots on goal, 4 shots off target compared to 3 that Necaxa had. 2 shots on blocked compared to 3 that Dallas had, and possession-wise, 60% possession compared to 40% possession that Necaxa has in this one. And with this win, Dallas have joined Miami as the second team to move on into the knockout stage. And now it all depends on the game between Necaxa and Charlotte. Let's see where they're gonna finish. If Necaxa does beat Charlotte, Dallas will finish first. But if Charlotte does beat Necaxa, then Dallas would be finishing second spot in the standings. Well, there you have it. That is pretty much it in terms of looking at these 4 games that happened earlier today and also late Sunday night into early Monday morning if you're living in the East Coast. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of these games? And again, tomorrow, very busy day. 7 games that's going to be happening. The most game we're going to have in terms of the group stage action in this Leagues Cup tomorrow. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.